Yo, what's going on? It's Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, tbkc, and all that sweet, beautiful, wonderful shh. All right, man, look, let's start it off. We've always got dumb shit. But y'all sent me this post asking me to comment on it, so that's what I'm going to do. It's from, Khan, or whatever you want to call this dude. And in his post, he says the biggest flaw to the American Bully breed is not a high rear. It's not Eastie Westie. It's not the underbite. It's not cowhawk. Then in bold letters, he puts the biggest flaw is the lack of bone and mass. You cannot have a two breed standard for the American Bully. It must be one. Any class that doesn't call for bone and mass should be eliminated from the conformation show. The American Bully should have bone and mass regardless of the height. All right. There's so much stupidity in a short post that, it is what it is. First of all, the American Bully should have bone. The American Bully should have mass. That is true. But what is happening in his post, and I've seen it in many of others' posts. Y'all seen it in the now secret and hidden and erased video with me and Bashar where I tore his ass up, is it boils down to one thing. If it's a confirmation show, confirmation, first of all, means everything. Confirmation is everything. Confirmation, once again, is everything. If you're doing a confirmation show, your objective is to breed a dog that meets all facets of the standard. That is the confirmation. The reason why it is called a confirmation show is confirmation of the standard. There is no American Bully standard that is written to just simply say, be big. So yes, if you have screwed up feet, you being big does not eliminate your screwed up feet. If you have a high rear, that does not, but you're big, that does not eliminate your high rear. Being cowhawk, being big does not eliminate you being cowhawked. Being big does not eliminate the breathing problems. Being big does not excuse breeding dogs with heart murmurs. Being big does not excuse having surgeries for soft palates and breeding the dogs to make more soft palate, heart murmur, cow hawked, high reared, straight stifle, fucked up feet dogs. It does not. We have seen this narrative more and more being pushed, and it is one of the most asinine things anybody from Khan to Dave Wilson to whoever. At the end of the day, the dog has to have every part of it. The American Bully never, and I do repeat, never, ever, ever was a small, thin-boned dog. The original standard always called for the dog to have big bone. It always called for the dog to have mass. It always called for the dog to have a beautiful top line, tight feet, great rear angulation, a scissor bite. It called for all of these things. You cannot take one facet because that appeals to what you breed and eliminate all the fucked up shit that y'all breed. It's just that simple. I don't care who it is. I don't care how many followers they got. I don't care how long they've been around. It is an asinine idea to pick out one feature of a dog in any breed and say that overrides anything that it has to do with flaws from every other part of the standard. The dog is supposed to have bone, mass, but be a conformationally structured dog that will allow this dog to hit all of the checkpoints of the standard. Excuse me for bobbling my words there. But it's frustrating because I see this narrative being pushed to naive people over and over again. Oh yeah, if your dog is big, it overrides a high rear. No, the fuck it doesn't. If there's a dog with less bone in the ring than your dog, if there's a dog in the ring with less mass than your dog, then your high rear dog fucking loses. If that dog is better conformation and his bone meets the standard. Sometimes what you have is you'll have a dog that has incredible bone and incredible mass, which is more than another dog that meets the standard of bone and mass. But if this incredibly, big mass dog has several other flaws, that cannot override the fact that a dog that qualifies as an American bully in every facet should be kicked out of the ring just because this is a big fat ass dog. And this is coming from people constantly, and you see the agenda. You see the agenda. This is coming from a dude whose dog won a nationals with a high rear and a kink tail, and is known, and his blood is known for having issues that cause him to die early. His blood is also known for having serious flaws. Now I hope that he's not stupid enough to try to come out and be like those idiots over there at Duval Bullies and put himself on blast, where a lot of people can come out and talk about the issues that they've been having with that blood and everything. Just stay in your lane, but stop lying to people and telling them that these dogs are supposed to be just big. They're not supposed to be just big. The dog, it is a beautiful thing to have mass. I say that over and over again. Mandela has a lot of mass. Several of my dogs have a lot of mass. But at the same time, the things that their mass does not override the fact that I don't like that Mandela is slightly cowhawked. I don't like that his skin is not as tight as I would want it to be. You know what I mean? Those two things right there bother me. His overall conformation is pretty spectacular. If you look at his top line, his feet, his straight fronts, and those type of things. But I can't get over the fact that he's somewhat cowhawked, and like I said, the loose skin. This is the nature of the beast when you are making a dog, when you are breeding a dog, and definitely should be that when you're judging a dog. You are judging for a complete dog, not one facet, and not the one facet that appeals to certain people who are trying to sell dogs at high prices and saying that our dogs are better because, oh, we added a lot of mass. No, every facet has to be in there. Does your dog have to be pulled around the ring? Because also in the standard, it says that the breed should be confident. Confident is not displayed by a dog that is being pulled around the ring and pissing and shitting everywhere. That should be a disqualification, honestly. And I'm glad that I'm starting to hear that at the WBA and several other places that they are now disqualifying dogs for that kind of behavior, and the dog just can't win. This, when you're doing a confirmation show, it has to be every facet. As I've told y'all on lives, when I judge a dog from top to bottom, it has to be every facet. It's y'all heard me refer to it as checkpoints earlier. Yes, it's like the judge is standing there with a list and going down the list. You know what I mean? How are the feet? How is the front angulation? How is the rear angulation? What is the top line looking like? How is the movement? How is the eye set? How is the eye shape? How is this dog's character? And what I mean by character, is it displaying confidence or is it displaying a shy behavior? Is the dog breathing? Is the nares set properly? That it's allowing airflow? Am I hearing anything from this dog's breathing? Yes, that is something that a judge is supposed to pay attention to. A judge at no point in time is ever supposed to pick a dog that is having breathing issues in the ring. Does the dog have a good natural tail without kinks that that comes right down to where the hocks is at? And all of these different things that you are trying to do as you evaluate the dog, it has to hit every checkpoint. If I go through all of this and the dog has this issue, that issue, a bad bite, this or that or whatever, I cannot, as a judge, and I don't think any reasonable judge in the world is going to award a dog simply because he is big, but he has 4 or 5 flaws, over a dog that is well put together, but might not have quite as much mass. Now, the one thing that you do go into, and this is a good conversation on this note, is what is the disqualification for lack of mass? That's a good conversation, because is there a bottom at the American Bully that no longer allows a dog to be an American Bully? I don't think it's just mass. I think it's also structure. I think if a dog is very, very narrow, because I've seen some American Bullies that don't have like the optimum amount of mass, but they have a good chest spread, they have adequate bone, they have adequate mass, and their actual structure is what sets them apart from the breeds that would surround them. And you can still see that this is an American Bully for sure. It's just not a I guess for lack of a better term, an overdone American bully. And dogs that would fall in that category is like a lot of Marco Suarez's dogs. They're obviously not, they're obviously American bullies. They're not other breeds, but they don't carry a ton of mass. They're more like the pretty, well-structured, shredded up dogs, And I don't think that, looking at even his dogs, the way that they're built in a lot of cases, you definitely can't disqualify them. They're American bullies. So now we have that point that it's 1 point down for the dog that doesn't have the structure. That doesn't have the mass. Now we go to the structure dog, and it's 1 point down for your high rear. It's 1 point down for your lack of confidence. You know what I mean? If you piss and shit in the ring, I'm going to kick you out. But it's, 1 point down for you. Ultimately, that always goes together. It seems like if you got the stiff stifles, that's another point down. Your top line, that's another point down. Your bad bite, that's another point down. So if you end up 5-6 points down in this thing to this one dog that's pretty much considered to be adequate in his size, but I say that's more of a preference. That's not a flaw. If the actual size meets the standard, and I don't feel like that their mass or their bone is to the point that it's a flaw, but it's adequate, but it's just at the bottom of adequate, your dog is in trouble. Your dog is in big trouble. Even if I feel like, okay, this dog doesn't have quite the mass that I would want, you know what I mean? Is it a disqualification? I have to go there. But if it's not a disqualification and he qualifies as an American bully, and that's the only thing that I can pick out about him, but I can pick out 4 or 5 things about your dog, then your dog loses easy. And it's just that simple. It's too many people now trying to rewrite the American Bully book to fit what they're trying to sell. At no point in time, and I'm talking about from the very first standard to all of these abbreviations of the standard and everything else like that, it has never been a situation to where this breed was only supposed to be big. It was a trifling ass thing to hear dumbass Dave get up there and talk about picking size over confirmation. You think about that, and we just heard this dude Khan say the same thing. It's a confirmation show. It's not a size show. You use the word confirmation, but it's a confirmation show. It's not a size show. If it's a thing of let's just see who gets the biggest dog, just put a scale in the middle of the fucking ring and throw the dogs on there, see who weighs the most, per inch. You know what I mean? So however tall they measure out at the shoulders, you know what I'm saying? We go ahead, put them on the scale, divide that shit, see how it adds up, and we'll see who's the winner. If that's what y'all doing now. But I just wanted to really put this out here and say this, and in the next video it's really along them same lines, but I address this, is that this is a total overall thing. You know what I mean? The whole my dog is an extreme, this, that, and the other, that's a conflict, and we'll talk about that in the next video. Until next time, much love. God bless. Peace.